Hey, I did it right. All right, so Craig has joined the recording. This is the recording for the December 2022 council meeting of Awaken the North. It is now 8:01 p.m. According to the attendance here, all seated chancellors are present and accounted for. I think this is the first time in a while we've actually had a full house here tonight, so that's kind of neat. Thank you all for showing up and attending. We've got a couple different things to go over this evening. So let's hop straight into it and get going. As always, we're going to go down the list alphabetically on the left by username. And that starts us out with the beautiful Canadian Kalista. How are you there?
I'm all right.
You've had an eventful month this month.
I did.
Awesome.
Did. Got on the editor's side, got the newsletter out. It was 21 pages long, which made it our longest to date. I sent you the Runic Rabbit Hole. Did you get it?
Which?
The Kenaz.
Oh, the Rubik Rat. Oh, yes, did get it. Yep, forwarded on to Saul, and Saul said it was good. We will post it up in the Patreon on the 1st, and then it will go to the Discord on the 15th.
Alrighty. Perfect. Just making sure.
Yep. It looked beautiful as always.
Thank you. Yeah, so again, back with the newsletter thing, we added a new channel to the Discord to allow people to post submissions and ideas and things for it there, which actually was a big boon. Yeah.
Yeah. Some grumbling that you had like 3 pages of newsletter.
Oh, yeah. Initially, I had like 2 submissions, and I was like, I'm not putting this out like this.
And then for the wonders of Discord,
yes,
this is now our biggest newsletter to date. So I think the channel was definitely a hit.
Absolutely, it was a great idea, and I really look forward to seeing what else comes out of it.
Right. I've looked through a couple of different things, and it's exciting. So it's awesome. What else we got going on?
I'm drawing a blank. Basically, it's all pretty much the same in the public affairs thing. I'm still looking for people to help out with content creation. Yeah, it's all. It's been an eventful month, life-wise.
Right. So, I agree with that. So
yeah.
Well, awesome. Thank you, as always, for everything you do. It's been awesome having you do the stuff you do, and the newsletter just keeps getting better and better each time. So let's go ahead and bounce down to the next one. We have Carla, who's our Chancellor of Regnabuit. Carla, how are you doing?
I am good. How are you?
I'm good. How are things in the Rainbow Clan?
As of right now, they're pretty good. Don't really have much to report. It's basically the same that it's been. Sorry, it is kind of loud here. Basically the same as it's been. I have about 78 was the last number I saw in Discord, and 39, I think, on Facebook for my group. I don't really have any events coming up this coming month, or no like observances or anything, relating to the LGBTQIA. This month is kind of like with Callisto, it was a busy month, so like personally.
Awesome. So Rainbow Clan's going to kind of take January as a month to breathe for once.
Yeah, I think so. I
Awesome.
think that'd be a good thing.
You are always so busy doing all the different things. It makes me tired just watching all your friends and shit. So it's
Well, thank you.
awesome. Anything else to report?
Not as of right now. Hopefully soon I'll have a chair, but we'll see.
Have you
Like-
gotten any from Ren about that?
Just not recently, except for the one time that they said, after the first of the year, to get back with them. So I think that's what I'm going to do: get back with them and see what's going on and make sure everything's still good. And if not, then we'll still be on the lookout. But if so, then that'd be great.
As far as I'm aware, they're still interested. They've got some pretty big stuff happening.
Right.
Personal
Yeah,
side right now.
They and Carla and I are in a chat together, and they've been being the little jerks by dropping the teasers in there. This is really cool, and it's going to happen, but I can't tell you right now. I got to wait, so it's going to be really cool, and I'll tell you eventually, but I just can't tell you right now. We're like,
I am sworn to secrecy, so I can't.
Yeah.
That's okay.
I love her
Yeah.
to death in that job. I think they would be an awesome addition to the team. I think them and Carla will get along just grand. So I'm excited to see that happen. Knowing Ren as long as I have, thanks to you, they and I have become friends, and I'm excited for their lives with wherever this new path that they're being so damn secretive about is going to take them, because you can tell the excitement and joy just in how they're posting about it. So I'm excited to see what that turns into for them. So,
Okay,
yeah,
my son too.
Yep. Hopefully Carla will have a chair here soon as well. Stay tuned, I guess, for that one.
Pretty much.
What's that?
I said pretty much, yeah.
Yep. Awesome. All right. Let's go ahead and bounce down to the next one of our Chair of Information Technology, Mr. David. For those who aren't getting the video, who are watching this or listening to this online, David has a side gig as Santa. And you wouldn't know it by his profile picture and all, but if you're staring at him on the screen like we are now, it's Santa. Big floofy white beard, stocking cap, glasses, twinkle in his eye. You see the rosy cheeks and everything. This dude's got it down tight. Just makes you want to crawl in his lap and tell him what you really want for Christmas. Russ, stay seated. David,
Well,
how are
right
things
then.
at you with?
Things are going well. Trying to get a couple of little glitches taken care of on the website, which should hopefully be sorted out tomorrow.
Awesome.
I've been having an issue with this new Facebook chat thing, but that's now working for me, so hopefully that problem sorted itself out.
Awesome.
And other than that, nothing major.
Any idea why it wasn't letting specific people in?
I have absolutely no idea. It's a relatively new feature on Facebook, and I think it's just super glitchy.
Got it.
I'm in a couple of other groups that have used those, and every time I try to log into a couple of them, it wants me to switch my profile to like a page profile. Like it just does weird things. So it's just super glitchy.
Did you do anything specific to get the ATN one to work for you, or did it just start working?
I did not. It just started working. I got a notification saying, "Hey, you're in this now," and then it worked. So I have no idea.
All right, we'll chalk that up to the Facebook gremlins and see what happens. Hopefully it'll fix itself and everyone will be able to get in. So
yeah, hopefully it just continues to work.
Awesome. And we discussed earlier the menus on the website, and you've got a game plan on how to get those corrected and working, or at least not go from what we talked about.
Yeah, I started fiddling with that a little bit after dinner, and I'm going to try to get that sorted out tomorrow.
Sweet. Awesome. Anything else exciting in your world?
Not at the moment. Just same.
I can't say that. This is recorded. Liar. I'll say liar instead.
Hmm. Just Santa right now.
Yeah. What's happening the first?
Huh?
What's happening the first?
Moving.
Oh, because that's just
Um,
important. It's just yeah, we're moving. Yeah,
well,
whatever.
it's the 7th. Yeah, we're moving into an apartment instead of existing in the RV, which is just getting leakier and moldier. So
You're gonna be a real boy.
yeah, I'm gonna have an actual like legal dwelling place.
That's exciting news.
Hmm.
You don't have to
Yep.
worry about the hurricanes and stuff as much.
As much.
Means
Right. I
means
mean,
I
it's
won't
Florida.
worry about you as much.
Right.
So
And Santa Claus paid for the deposit.
right. For those who aren't aware, during his tenure here at Awake in the North, uh, David actually started in a yurt. He lived in a yurt on a farm and then got himself a girlfriend and upgraded to an RV and currently lives in an RV and now is taking the next step to being a real boy and moving into an actual dwelling. And that's exciting. So I am very happy for you and proud that you're making those steps to better your life there. How's the gardening job going?
The gardening is going wonderfully, except for the 19 degrees that we've had the past couple of days that our tropical plants aren't enjoying.
Right.
But hopefully most of those survive relatively unscathed.
Awesome. For those who might not know, David works as the official gardener for a true farm to table exotic pizza joint down in Florida.
Mhm.
And he is the master gardener who takes care of all their crops that they use in their pizzas and such. So that's an impressive thing.
Yep, that's fun. I enjoy it.
Speaking of impressive people, let's bounce on down to the next one and say hello to the glorious Russ.
Right. Hello, everybody. Excuse me, a little froggy today for some weird reason. Let's see what we have going on for some really, really boring numbers. Alrighty. November highlights. Net loss of $74.05. Not totally bad, just means we spent $74 more than what we made. Patreon for the month was at $254.01, down a little bit from 276.06 in October. Patreon is holding steady through December at 254.25. For November, we did have, it looks like, $85.74 in store sales for the ATN merchandise. At least I did see that you actually finally put a sarong out there. I will order one. Through November 2022, ATN for the YTD is at a loss of $96.54. That does not include any of the auction activity, as that seems to have occurred in December for all the bookkeeping purposes at the very least. Performance forecast. For November, we had projected revenue of $708.33 with expenses at $687.33. Our actuals revenue was quite a bit lower at $474.44, and expenses were a little lower also at $548.49. In summary, we had forecast a net gain of $21 for the month, and our actuals resulted in a net loss of $74.05 for the month.
It's about $100 off of what we were expecting.
Yeah, which not awesome, but
right. But
talk
of course. Yep.
All right, and I want to say that the revenue from the auctions, and unless Beast, you want to go over this on your spiel?
No, we can do that now, or we can hit it next month when it actually hits the reporting.
It looks like about 600, but we'll wait till next month so we have some fun stuff to talk about.
Right.
Does anyone have any questions about some really boring numbers? Or other random questions I may or may not know the answer to? All righty. Take silence as a big old negative, Ghost Rider.
Great. So you had a interesting week this past week.
I did get to go visit some family over the holiday, and that was very, very hilarious. On the eve, we're having dinner, and a young niece, she's about 3, was over for dinner, and being responsible adults, there may have been a few glasses of wine involved. We noticed she really liked buttered toast, and decided to feed her some butter at the table, and then butter with sugar and cinnamon on it, because it's got to eat here.
Right.
Then we fed her some chocolate and some caffeine, some more dessert, and proceeded to play bouncy putty in the kitchen with her. For some reason, she loved me this time around and wanted to play with me, probably because I look like an anime character. For those of you at home that can't see me, I look like an anime character.
Yep.
And my mom filmed the whole playing with bouncy putty in the kitchen, and her partner was trying to get her to catch the putty and develop some coordination. He gets her all hyped up. All right, catch it. And she's, I'm open, right in front of me. They toss it very slowly, very gently, bounce, bounces right into her eyeball. The kid's fine, cried for a second. My mom put a wet paper towel on it, all good and groovy. My mom filmed it. I didn't realize iPhones had this kind of fidelity or accuracy, whatever you want to call it, on their video capture. Because you could zoom up on that and slow it down and see the ball poke right in the eyeball. My sister shared that with the entire planet. Yeah,
Nice.
we were horrible adults. Fed a child butter, sugar, more sugar, caffeine, chocolate, and then gave her a black eye and gave her back.
Yeah, there you go.
Made for a very fun holiday and an interesting story to tell.
Now you've got that story to tell all of her boyfriends as she grows older. Yeah.
So you can show them, because that video will never go away. Never.
Fun stuff. Russ, as always, we love the stuffings out of you, and we appreciate everything you do for us.
Well, thank you so much, everybody.
Let's go ahead and pop on down to our Chancellor of Military Services, J. Ray. How you doing?
Oh, I'm breathing.
That's a
How are
plus.
you?
We like it when you're breathing.
It's been a week, but yeah. So I go ahead.
That with that, I must say that with that week and knowing part of what that week has entailed, I am extremely proud of you, of how you've handled it and how you've maintained your composure for the most part during these trying times. You know that all of us here on the council are here for you, and if there's ever anything that you need, all you gotta do is ask, and we'll be right there for you.
I know, and I very much appreciate it. My tiny human has run off with my notebook, but so I think the last count I saw on Discord for my group of craziness is 60, and then on Facebook I believe was 15. So I want to try to get the Facebook numbers up, obviously. And then it looks like I'm getting a new chair, so that's awesome. And outside of that, I am still going through and vetting some of those groups that you asked me to go through, and trying to see the best way to contact them so we can further that project I am working on. And
Awesome.
outside of that, that is it.
Awesome. I know things have been hectic in Frenzold. I would like to make that project a priority as soon as we can. Doesn't have to be tomorrow, because I understand there's still stuff going on. But as soon as we can get that to be a priority, I would really appreciate that part.
Not a problem. And then outside of that, my wife decided to cheer me up by telling me that we are flying into San Francisco in May and driving down the Pacific Coast Highway, letting me go home to Salinas for a couple of days. Maybe taking my son to the redwoods the sequoias out by Santa Cruz so he can lick a banana slug, and then heading down to Disneyland.
You're gonna make the boy lick a banana slug.
Yes, they make your tongue go numb.
That is true Californian right there, I tell you. I've done it, and I know the pleasures of doing such. It does make your tongue go numb. It tastes like ass, but it is neat to do, especially to small children. So, one of the few things that we as adults can do to children that is not considered child abuse anymore. So,
It's a rite of passage for us Central Coast kids. So
right. Lick a banana slug and pee on an electric fence. Those are two things that every kid needs to do at least once. So, Russ is up there saying he's done it too. Yep. Russ and I were actually just talking about the Redwoods yesterday. We had a phone conversation and talking about how much I miss the Redwoods. Gorgeous country out there. If you guys haven't had a chance to go do it, do it. It's definitely worth it. Some beautiful things to see. I'm excited for your son to be able to actually experience them. So, as for your new chair, we did finish that up here just literally like half an hour ago. That 216 will be the new chair of military services. With that, there have been a few changes in the position and title.
Yes.
We are working on, it's no longer going to be Chancellor of Military Services alone. We have now incorporated the military and first responders to branch out for the police, fire, rescue, medical, things like this as well. Those who are the front lines of keeping us safe. Your new chair comes with a rather impressive resume, and I'm excited to see what that branching out will do. We have created the new rooms in Discord for such, and they have already exploded, and it's been great to see all kinds of cool changes in your position, and I am really pleased with how well you've adapted and rolled with it with all the different changes that have been made.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, I know I am too, especially with the ideas that he's passed back and forth so far. So now that we've got him in as official here within the next couple of days, we'll need to get together, the three of us, and talk and solidify a few things and get him up and running and watch where he takes it from there.
Perfect.
So, it'll be good stuff. All right, awesome. Anything else you'd like to report?
No, just getting myself squared away for the funeral tomorrow. That's all.
There we go. Alrighty. Let's go ahead and bounce on down to the next one. Our amazing Hydriton, Mike. How are you this evening? Do we have a mic? Is there a mic now? Mike is, there we go.
Technical difficulties. I hit the wrong dang button.
There's a mic.
Sorry. I hit the in call instead of unmute.
Yeah, that's the wrong button.
I'm good.
Okay. So you've had some interesting activities this month.
Not really. Just normal stuff.
One even resolved itself for you today.
Yeah, we did have some trash take itself out. I don't like to use that word. I don't think the person necessarily is trash, but the allegory is accurate. We did have today a new guest came into Discord. Right away, self-identified as Focus. Suzanne actually handled it.
Right.
He very diplomatically said, "This is probably not the place you'll want to be at. You'll probably be happier somewhere else." And he was like, "Yep, I think I will," and left.
These are not the Discords you were looking for.
That's basically what she said, in a more UK kind of way, I guess. But
right, Suzanne and her Jedi mind tricks. Yeah.
Dan handled one earlier in the month. Kind of the same situation where the person came in and made one comment and left on their own, I think. I don't think they were removed, but their picture had some offensive stuff in it. The Sun Guard or whatever it's called, the Black Sun,
Right.
and then
About that.
an expression of loving a certain historical figure that we don't need to talk about.
Right.
So Dan removed that one comment that was made just to get rid of that profile picture that probably most of us wouldn't even noticed. But Dan's
Right.
got that amazing ability to attention to detail.
Right. That's 'cause-
Otherwise,
It's because Dan took the Norse symbols course and knew what that symbol meant. Right, Dan?
well, you pay attention to the profile picture. I know what the symbol is, but I didn't notice it was in anybody's profile picture.
Right.
Yes, if you're listening in, take that course. It's a good course to take.
There you go. Thanks for the shameless plug, Dan. No, Mike, that wasn't a slight on you at all. It was basically acknowledging that Dan has taken the course. I'm sure he knew what the symbol was, and most of us here on the council know what the symbol is, and would have taken care of it ourselves had we seen it. But like you said, Dan has that eye for detail, and he was able to pick it out, and it was not an issue before it became an issue. So, yep.
Otherwise, it's been relatively quiet on that side of HD stuff.
Awesome. You've got a few other projects you've been working on too.
Not really. I haven't really been working on them. We talked about them, but I haven't really worked on
Oh, okay.
them. It's been kind of I don't know. It's been a different kind of, along with other people. I mean, I don't have the same necessarily personal stuff, but just personal things happening that kind of detract away from focusing on other things.
December is a hectic month for just about everybody. So, yep. But we're coming up
This
to
last-
a year with new beginnings and new opportunities, and excited to see what 2023 holds for us.
The big one personally right now is just dealing with this dang propane company. We don't have any propane.
Right.
At least it's getting warmer out. We made it through the cold month or the cold spell, but we ordered the propane in plenty of time and we got pushed back the line because of people that aren't as responsible and waited until the last minute. Anyway.
Yep.
It's
Sadly,
frustrating when it's frustrating when you pay attention to your tank level and order it because you know a cold spell's predicted to be coming, so you order it a week ahead, and then you get pushed to the bottom of the pile because people waited until the last minute and said, "Oh, I'm out of propane." and then
I've been hearing
the
that.
customer service telling you that's why you didn't get your propane is because there was people with less propane than you that called in after you.
Oh, that's not cool. Apparently, up here, the propane company is telling people, "Yeah, we'll put a rush on it. You're added to the important list," and still not getting propane a week later. So, unfortunately, I've been hearing that story quite a bit from a lot of folks, especially here in Branson area, where they're just out of propane, and the customer service folks don't care. So,
Yeah, that's kind of anyway, not
Yeah.
ATN related.
right. But still part of your life, and you're part of ATN, so it's important. So, anything else exciting going on?
Not really, not for me. My son's in Singapore right now. That's kind of cool.
That's
Place
nice.
I never got to go.
Yeah.
We
That's
did a kindred gathering. That was nice.
Yeah, that was a fun one. Yeah. Alrighty. Well, if there's nothing else, we'll go ahead and bounce down the list to the next one. That brings us down to a longtime listener, first time caller. We have a new scribe. Her name is Felicia. Felicia, say hello. We'll see if she can.
I'm working on it.
She is.
I don't
Felicia,
know the buttons yet.
there you go. Felicia has agreed to come on and be our new scribe for Wake in the North. Still getting her feet under her. We're still going through the trainings and getting her up to speed and running with all the different things. Were you able to grab any of the numbers and such? If not,
No, not really. I don't know anything yet.
right. Like I said, still working on training. Nothing wrong with that at all. We will work on that more this week and get you up and running. And next meeting, we'll have amazing reports from you because I'm sure you're going to do amazing things. For those who might not know her as Felicia, most everyone knows her as Memento Mori. She is our local bone carver. Many of you have received her hammers and different carvings and such, either through direct orders from her or through giveaways that I've done through Awaken the North. I have several of her pieces in my own collection, and I cherish them dearly. My favorite, which she'll probably laugh about because she doesn't know this, she, on a whim as a joke, carved an itty-bitty little battle axe. And it lives in the arm. I've got my Lazy Boy has an arm that opens and it has a little storage compartment in it. And it lives in the left-hand arm of my Lazy Boy. And it is what I take out to threaten Laurel when Laurel's being a brat. I tell her if she doesn't behave, I'm going to beat her with my axe. The axe itself is maybe a total of 2 inches tall, so it's not by any means a threat. But both Laurel and I love this little battle axe that lives inside my chair. So if you haven't seen her work, she is available on Facebook with some of the pictures and such. You can message her directly through Discord. She is Felicia-Scribe, and she can give you all the information on how to order her things. If you've not seen her antler and bone rune sets, you are definitely missing out. Check those out. They are amazing. So, Felicia, we appreciate. What's that?
I'm glad you enjoy my stuff so much.
I do. Everybody does. I've yet to hear anything negative about any of the products that anyone has ever gotten from you. You do amazing work. So, that's good stuff. All right, so we will hear more from Felicia at next month's meeting when she has her legs under her and knows what's going on. Let's go ahead and bounce on down to the next one. We've got our lovely Sprinkle, who is the Chancellor of Member Affairs. Sprinkle, how are you doing?
Good evening, everybody.
Hello, Mrs. Timberman.
Ew. I'm feeling good this evening. It's been a lot of up and downs, as everybody knows, for me the last couple months, and up and down and up and down and up and down. So, feeling good this evening.
Awesome.
I'm really excited to go after Felicia, though, because I just have to say, you were my first Milner. You actually carved it for somebody else, and it was in one of the giveaways that Beast did, one of the first times he did a giveaway of yours. And when I reached out and told you I had wanted it, it was kind of one of those meant to be moments, and I love my Milner that you carved for me. So I needed to say that real quick there.
Awesome.
What do you want? Numbers from me? That's what you guys want from me, right? That's what I give you at these meetings.
Yeah, give us the numbers.
I got lots of numbers. Are you ready? Are you ready? We went up in everything.
Awesome.
Yeah, so 17,985 Facebook public page members. Our public Facebook group is still over 2.0K. I don't think it registers any higher than that, to be honest. It's been stuck at that since I started in the seat. I think it went up that month. Members on the Facebook group, 265. Discord, we have a total of 603 humans. 311 of those are members. 153 Discord guests. TikTok followers, we've got 6,731. Twitter, 4,710. Instagram, we're at 914. YouTube jumped the most this month to 189. So it's been slowly trickling up, and it jumped, I think it was like 10 points.
Wow.
Yeah, that was a good one. I thought you'd like to hear that.
I wasn't aware, so yeah, that's really awesome.
Yeah, I know you've been working on getting a lot of YouTube stuff put out there, and we've had a few people helping you with that, so yay.
Great.
ATM.
I fully admit I haven't been looking at the numbers on YouTube. I've just been posting stuff because I didn't want to see the numbers because it was sadly low.
Well, you have increased those numbers a lot in the last couple months since you started flooding YouTube more with some content. So kudos.
Awesome.
Total ATN website members, 399. We approved 9 applicants this month, and I only had to decline 1. And again, it's that common reason, poor answer to the inclusiveness question. As everybody knows, we are an inclusive organization and we do not shun people. So, that's kind of what I got going on here.
Sweet.
That's the last of our numbers, yeah.
Awesome. And how are the crabs?
Oh, they're loving their crab setup because I finally got them in the 40-gallon. Oh, the bestest information that happened, the coolest thing that happened. I've had a lot of down. We've talked about that. I want to talk about up. Corey met her neighbors because of a down this weekend, or sprinkle as most people know me. My car froze the battery. Most of us had that issue, I think, this weekend with the weather we all had. My neighbors are D&D loving, hermit crab owning people like me. And I love it.
Ooh. Are there going to be play dates for the crabs?
Well, so they play every other weekend D&D at their house, and they invited me to come hang out and check out their group, which is really awesome. And they have their own hermit crabs. I was like, hey, your 3-year-old can come check out my hermit crabs. And my neighbor was like, oh my gosh, we have hermit crabs. And I was like, this was meant to be like 100%. So
Are
exciting
hermit crab
times.
play dates a thing?
I'm going to go with,
crab play dates a thing?
I think that would be dangerous, but not really. It would depend. If you've got like passive hermit crabs, no.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, but
Well,
if you
I
have
don't know.
aggressive hermit crabs, no, because they can shell jack each other for real.
Isn't there like different diseases and stuff that they can get being in together and stuff? I know hardly nothing about hermit crabs. So
I haven't really come across any of those kind of problems or seen any of those kind of problems in my groups. I'm sure like with many crustaceans, there's always kind of something that anything can get. We all can get sick from something, but I haven't seen that so much. It's more they like the big cloisters. They like to live in big communities. So you're supposed to have quite a few together in a tank, but they're picky. They're finicky. They're special.
well, there you go. Learn something new about crabs.
Right.
Awesome.
Oh,
Alrighty.
book club. Book club's been doing okay too, by the way. I talk about book club sometimes, huh? Still doing the Have 'em All, still recording, so catch up if you want to and want to join us. And we will have a session this week. That's Thursday at 7:30 Central Standard Time.
Okay.
The move really
And
changed all that for me.
Am I remembering right? This week is the watch party?
No, because you know what happened? I still can't find that DVD. It's the one thing in this house, it's like this apartment that's still missing. So quite a few people have also said, hey, we miss it. Let's read. So we're going to read.
All right.
Heather
If you
especially
haven't
is
found
like,
them,
please, oh, please, let's read.
yeah. If you haven't found them by next time, let me know, and I'll get you my set to borrow.
Yes, please. Now that you live so close and I can do that. I
Yeah,
live so
because
close.
I know everyone loves the readings. I know everyone loves the watch parties too. So, yeah. If it doesn't work out, you can't find them, let me know, and I'll loan you my set for a bit, and we go from there.
Sounds like a plan.
Awesome. And we'll get to Saul in just a minute. We have a late arrival who has popped in, who's always great to see. One of our Council of Elders has popped in. Sven, how are you doing, good sir?
Oh, better. I was trying to adjust the headphones because I've got cancer on the ear. I don't know if you can see the bandage, but it was uncomfortable. So I was just trying to find a way to make it comfortable.
Right. Are you done with all the doctor nonsense, sir?
Oh, hell no. I wish I was. And I mean that with a single L.
Right. And your lovely lady wife, Carolyn, she's doing well?
She's actually enjoying a week off of PTO from work, but she's still having to do work and stuff like that. It's unfortunate. Yeah, it's we instead of PTO and being personal time off, it's pretend time off. So
Right.
she's still working, but slowing down a little bit, and I'll have a
Good.
chance to build her a blanket fort and all that kind of thing.
Well, good. Good. She
Yes.
works too hard. She needs some fun time. Definitely make sure you
realize.
send her our love.
I shall.
Yep.
Thank you.
Awesome. All right. So last and definitely least,
Sending you
not
love.
least, we have
Awaken the
Saul.
North Council.
We have Saul, our Chancellor of the Emissary Program, aka the Majestic Cat Herder.
Sounds
Saul, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am okay. I have to give you props straight up because manning the fort there with those emissaries, man, I don't know how you do it. That is a feat in and of itself.
A lot of patience and a lot of meditation.
Right.
So,
My case would be awesome. So, what you got to report for us?
well, like I assumed it would be, it was a pretty slow month. We only had 2 events. Those were both today, and they were both my events. Meet and greet and my voice chat. No shows for both, sadly. We got 11 emissaries in the field right now. 1 new one. Let's see. It looks like for next month we have 4 events planned so far. I know that's going to change for sure. It might go up to 7 or 8, so that's good. Again, winter months, I know it's going to be harder for them to do, but it's okay there.
Awesome.
Pretty much it. Other than that, just buried in ruins.
Right. For those who don't know, Saul does our Rune of the Day and leads the monthly rune discussion for Callista's Runic Rabbit Holes and the Discord, and does the Rune of the Day on the Facebooks and stuff too. And it's always fun to look through and see the different interpretations and different outlooks on the different runes and how they work together. So it's been fun.
Thank you.
Anything else you'd like to discuss?
No, that's pretty much it.
Awesome. Well, I know I pick on you a lot because you pick on me a lot, and it's a good thing. But you do know that we appreciate the stuffing out of you, and you do an awesome job as always.
Thank you, sir.
Speaking of people that we love to pick on, I mean, people who do amazing jobs, I guess we'll go that route. Honorable mention, even though their chancellor is here tonight, we do have Danny in the house. Danny is our chair of public affairs, works with Callista, and is basically the whipping boy for anything and everything that we need to have done. Is amazing at getting stuff out to the public faster than I ever could. Is a whiz at all the different things, and definitely does not work for the secret government agencies making ninja raccoons. So, yeah. How are you tonight, Danny?
I'm all right. About to get a fire lit in this fireplace here at work, and
Nice.
I'm in a 12-person cabin by myself because I got here and
Hey, there you go.
place for me.
Nice. All right, so you finally made it there. That's a good thing. There was some concern about that.
Yeah, it's an easy enough. It's just a long trip.
There you go. All right, good to see you as always. And again, we appreciate everything you do because you do a lot for us. So it's always a good thing. Now, since we've had the reports and inputs from all of the seated chancellors, that brings us to our next order of business. We do have a Well, I guess technically still a guest at the moment, but definitely the next topic of discussion. Caden, go ahead and unmute yourself if you would.
Can you hear me?
Caden, we can hear you.
Oh, good. Yeah, you couldn't before, so I fixed it.
There you go. Caden has put in his application to become the new Chancellor of Racial Diversity, to take over the reins there and get that program back up and running, and hopefully help out with our BIPOC community. This is something we've discussed pretty extensively in leadership chat, and there was a question and answers section that we did in a separate chat. I know there was a few other questions that were still floating around. I guess at this point, whoever has a question that they would like to ask, feel free to ask.
Yeah, please.
We'll have the official vote here in just a bit. Anybody?
I don't have any questions to ask, but I just wanted to say, hey, Caden, thanks for coming tonight. You answered the questions that I kind of was curious about when other people already asked them. So thanks for coming.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Callista, did you have any questions?
No, my questions were answered in the just the chat.
Awesome. David, I know you've been busy playing Santa and doing a whole bunch of other stuff. Have you had a chance to look over that room and see the questions and answers? And did you have any questions of your own?
Yeah, I did look it over, and I don't think I have any additional questions that hadn't already been asked.
All right, awesome. Jay, do you have any questions that you would like to ask?
I do not. All the questions I was going to ask were asked as well.
Awesome.
I do
Mike?
want to, if it's okay, sorry.
Sure, go ahead.
Would it be possible for Caden to go back over his vision for this position for the recording?
Certainly. Let's do that after we go through, make sure no one has questions. And then I do have a couple questions I'm reserving for the end. I want to make sure all the chancellors have an option to get theirs out first.
Sounds good.
So we'll give Caden the floor, and he can reiterate his stance on things and hopefully answer any other questions that might be out there. So, Mike, did you have any questions?
Not that I haven't already had asked and answered.
Awesome. Felicia, did you have any questions?
Nope, no questions here. Everything's already been answered.
Awesome. Sprinkle, you've already said that you've had your questions answered. Saul, did you have any questions?
Nope, we're all good here.
Awesome. All right. So now it's our turn, Caden.
All right.
There has been some questioning, for full disclosure and transparency, on the fact that you are presented as a white male. And the optics of having a white male in charge of the racial diversity group, there's been some concern voiced about the optics of that and how that will appear to others who aren't part of the council and seeing the day-to-day activities.
Yes. And I think...
What is your response to that?
My only slight clarifier is just that I'm non-binary. He, him is fine, but just, calling me a man, not quite accurate, but the point of being white, it is absolutely spot on. And how I actually got involved in heathenry and was through ancestral work, working with Lenny Duncan doing an Ifa reading. And so he's a pretty big activist in the Black community, and he was the one that really pushed me to get started going, and they both went hand in hand for me, going down ancestral paths and looking at how that's changed as a white person and how that's impacted others. And so coming at it from trying to do whatever work I can to make more space for somebody to come in and step into. And so one of my primary things that I would always be working on is trying to first listen to anybody from the world's global majority that's willing to, share, give feedback, any of those things, and amplify them. And then also working to try and find somebody who fits this position better, that does have the lived experience behind it. And I think that kind of centering that, and it's kind of the contradictions for white people of, yes, having a white person in this role, that's not ideal. I would be the first one to say that wouldn't be an end goal or saying that I'm the best candidate. But white people also need to be doing the work to make the spaces, because it wouldn't be fair if, there isn't anybody from the world's global majority that has been doing it. That's just kind of extra work to put on them. So kind of the balancing of the roles, but also a pretty big part of the position to me would be reaching out and building that community, and hopefully before too long finding somebody who could either step into my position completely or even just offering to do it part-time with them or whatever it would work to get more voices to the center. If that makes sense.
That is a great answer in my mind. Basically, in a nutshell, build up the position so people know the position exists, so that people know that it is available for someone to step into at a later date.
Yes. Yep. And kind of like what it is. And because I've gotten lots of feedback of like, oh, well, I had never even heard of that. There would be a heathen group that would be. And so, just kind of getting the word out and finding those people where, hey, yeah, this group is here. And if you're wanting a leadership role or somebody to listen to you, yeah, we would love to have you step into the position that I'm currently building and getting rolling so that they can step into it easier.
Awesome. Work off the old adage of if you build it, they will come.
Yep.
Sweet. I like that answer. I know that's been a thing that I have been working at, but am fully aware of my own limitations and the fact that I have not done the position justice by any stretch of the imagination, because I am not part of that community or active with the. I love the fact that you call it the world majority instead of the U.S. minority. That was.
Yes.
It tickles me.
It's one of those little things that one of my elders and that having that leadership and amplifying for their voices, that was one of those little changes in how they switched. And I was kind of like, oh, that really shifts how you're looking at it from, oh, no, it's the world's majority of people.
Right. And I love that. That is amazing. So, yep. All right. Awesome. So, chancellors, we've had a chance to discuss this both in chat and here in person. At this point, I am going to go ahead and call for an official vote. We will go down the list, and it will be a yes or no to officially accept Caden as the Chancellor of Racial Diversity. You can give reasonings behind, or you can simply say yes or no, totally at your discretion. So we'll start with Callista. Yes or no?
Aye.
Carla?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Russ?
Yes.
Jay?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Felicia?
Yes.
Sprinkle?
That was a beautiful answer. I visually could see it. That's a yes for me.
And Saul?
Absolutely 100% yes.
Saul?
He said yes.
Yes.
Okay. I didn't hear the first yes. I apologize.
You're good.
That combined with my definite yes makes it a unanimous vote, which makes it official that Caden is now the Chancellor of Racial Diversity. Congratulations, good sir.
Excuse
me. Congratulations.
Welcome aboard.
Okay, so real quick to clarify, and I apologize because I did not ask this question earlier, and that is totally my bad. What are your preferred pronouns?
They, them, and he, him. So either is fine. Yep.
Okay.
Pretty much anything but she, her for me.
Okay. I will keep that in mind, and I apologize for not asking that earlier. Like I said, that was my bad.
Thanks for asking.
So, welcome aboard. We'll work on getting all the onboarding stuff done tomorrow because it is now almost 9 o'clock. And I know Mike, who does most of the onboarding stuff because he rocks like that, it's getting late. So, we'll work on all that stuff tomorrow and get that taken care of.
All right.
It's not late for me. You guys know I'm a night person. Like, it's just now morning for me.
Right, but you're off the next couple days, aren't you?
Yeah. Tomorrow I'm gonna be largely unavailable if my plans are fulfilled. I plan to probably go up around Salem, Missouri, and do some hiking and photographing. So
awesome.
Fun.
I know I look forward to the photos because you always take such amazing photos. So
thank you.
I have to live vicariously through your fun adventures because I get stuck with the scouts all the time.
Yeah, I'm past that age.
Yeah.
I started
hope so.
earlier with my children.
Right. All right, folks. Well, that has been the hour, and we'd like to try to keep it to the hour. As for my reports, there's not a whole terrible lot of new stuff happening on my end. December's been a busy month with everything else going, of course. We have had an amazing month with the completion of the auction. We'll go over the details for the finances on that on next meeting, since that has impact on the next financials. But the auction was a great success. We had a great time for doing that. Galaxy did an amazing job of running all that. I look forward to see what the auction for next year has. Callista, were you trying to say something?
No.
Okay. You were lighting up and I couldn't tell what it was saying, so I was making sure you weren't saying something.
Sorry, I think my mic is just picking you up. I'll mute myself again.
It's all right. It's okay. I just want to make sure I wasn't talking over you or anything. So, all right. Let's see. We had an amazing newsletter come out this month. We had an amazing auction end up this month. We've had some changes in leadership this month that have worked out well. The next course on the certificate course is nearing completion. All things go well. I'm hoping to have that out the first week of January. That will be a fun one to go through. The progress on that has not been what I was hoping to have it be because I have the 4 small things that insist on calling me daddy running around the house because for some reason the state officials have decided that they don't have to go to school for way too long. So a lot of my day is filled with dealing with pulling things out of children's noses and making sure that one is not killing the other because that's what kids do. So it's been great fun. But yeah, the next course hopefully will be out the first weekend or first week of January. There's been exciting updates to the library on the website. There's been exciting updates to the Discord. Awaken the North is just growing and evolving and becoming a beautiful thing. So it is now 9 o'clock Central Standard Time. If no one else has anything else, I will go ahead and call this meeting to a close. Anyone want to second the closing of the meeting?
I second that.
Awesome. Then we'll go ahead and call this meeting adjourned for December.